On the evening of September 10th, at approximately 5 p.m., these two individuals are visible in the CCTV footage of the elevator. Looking at these two people, no one can guess how terrible a crime these two are about to commit and leave. This CCTV footage is from the Swan Lake Apartments in Hyderabad, where these two boys are seen exiting a flat on the 13th floor, one of whom is carrying a large travel bag. They are calmly conversing in the elevator, and after the elevator opens, they leave the apartment building without any hindrance, carrying the bag. IT Hub, Cyberabad, Rakesh and Renu Agrawal had everything in their life. Which a person expects in his life, own family in their own home, where happiness, peace and prosperity all reside, where Rakesh Agrawal had a steel business. Meanwhile, his wife Renu Agrawal took care of the house and the whole family very well. They had two children, the elder son Shubham, who was now 26 years old and helped his father in his steel business, and their beloved daughter Tamana, who was now 22 years old and was currently away from home in another state pursuing higher studies. Renu and Rakesh Agrawal were supposedly past the age of 50, having crossed the milestone. But despite this, the freshness in their relationship, the same love was maintained. But it is said that in the coming moments of life, when will death knock stealthily? In what way, in what form? It is impossible to know. September 10th, 2025, like every other day, around 7 p.m., when Rakesh Agrawal, along with his son Shubham, in Fatehnagar, returned home from his shop located. Then even after ringing the doorbell for a long time, the main door didn't open. He also called Renuji, but the phone wasn't picked up, because this had never happened before. Therefore, Rakesh immediately called Chidambaram from the maintenance department, a plumber named Guru, and sent him inside the flat through the balcony. By chance, the balcony sliding door was open, but the room was dark. As soon as that plumber enters, somehow he sees that a woman is on the floor, lying down. He thought that she might have fainted and fallen. Therefore, he immediately opens the main door from inside. Rakesh Agrawal and his son Shubham enter the house. As soon as the lights of the room are switched on, a scene appears before their eyes, seeing which every pore of their body trembles. Because on the floor of the drawing room, Renuji's dead body is lying covered in blood. Hearing the screams of Rakesh Agrawal and Shubham from the neighboring flat to other residents of that building reach there. This scene was so terrifying that whoever saw it, their soul trembled. Who could have imagined that something like this would happen to a happy family? With great difficulty, Rakesh Agrawal, while composing himself, informed the police. Since this crime was in a high-profile posh society of Srishti Nanhay Lake Town, therefore, within just 10 minutes, the senior police officers, along with a large police force, reached the scene of the incident, and the dog squad that came with them. And fingerprint experts began to examine the crime scene. The crime scene was very, very horrific. Renuji's hands and feet were tied with rope. The cupboards in the house and belongings were lying scattered. From the hall floor to the sofa, there was blood everywhere. And nearby, a blood-soaked pressure cooker was also lying there. Shockingly, the condition of the dead body was so bad that it seemed as if someone had killed them with great hatred. Renu Agrawal Ji. A large crowd of building residents gathered outside the flat. Everyone had many questions in their minds were arising, but along with these questions, fear had also started to settle in their minds. The question is that, who is behind it after all? Who is it that tortured them too? Death with so much hatred. And the fear is that if such a high-security society that is from the ACP office is only 300 meters away, if someone is not even safe inside the house, then where is it? You will be surprised to know that in the house where Renu was living a good life with her husband and children and a happy life, the same house not only witnessed her last breaths, but she was well acquainted with the person who committed it. As per the crime scene, this was a case of murder for theft and robbery. But for a stranger to enter an apartment building and commit this, and then leave very comfortably, this was beyond. But when the phone was not picked up, he thought that maybe Renu was busy with some household chores. Anyway, the police sent the body to Gandhi Hospital for post-mortem and started their investigation. According to the post-mortem report that came the next day, Renu G's body had knife and scissor. There were 40 injury marks, including cuts, incisions, and blunt trauma marks. His head was repeatedly hit with a pressure cooker, crushed, and his throat was slit with a sharp object. And he was killed. The time of death was around 3 to 5 p.m. on the afternoon of September 10th, a.m. When Rakesh Agrawal called home, Renu Agrawal had already died. Along with questioning the security guard and neighbors, the police also started checking the CCTV footage of the same time duration, in which they saw 2 people leaving his flat with a travel bag at 5:05. After leaving the flat, they entered the lift and then went towards the basement. Parking CCTV camera of basement parking. In this, both are seen going out on a scooty. When the police showed this CCTV footage to Rakesh Agrawal, he clearly identified the person in the video as Harsh, whom he had hired as a cook just 10 days ago. The other person with Harsh was Roshan, the servant of Renu Agrawal, who lived on the 14th floor, who had been working for them for the past 11 months, and whom she trusted a lot. That was the reason why, for household chores and to bring things, etc., she had given him the key to her scooty, with which they were both seen leaving from there. Both were associated with an agency in Kolkata, which is Jharkhand, Bihar, and West Bengal. From different states, maid, drivers. It works to provide cooks and servants. Rakesh Agrawal said that some valuables from the house, jewelry, and cash are also missing, due to which the police guessed that it might be that the stolen goods were in that bag. The police, checking every road and cameras on the highway and the surrounding, also circulated the scooty number in all the police stations. The police also contacted Shankar, the owner of that agency, from where these 2 were hired, there. From there, they came to know that both of them are residents of Ranchi, the capital of Jharkhand. Both were also seen in a CCTV camera going towards housing colony. While tracing them, the police found the same scooty in Madhapur. It was no less than a challenge for the police to catch both of them. That's why the police of these 2 suspects, photos and CCTV videos of the lift, circulated through social media. Eventually, the police also got its benefit when a cab company owner's call reached the police station, who told that the cab driver of his company has identified both of them. Because he was on the night of September 10th, he himself went to drop from Secunderabad to Ranchi, for which he had also taken 15,000 rupees in advance. That is, after committing the murder, these 2 crooks. The distance from Secunderabad to Ranchi is approximately 1,250 kilometers, which was covered by a Keddy cab, and the next evening at 9 p.m. he got off in Ranchi. They got wet. 2 police teams, anyway, had already left for Ranchi. As soon as they reached there, the tire location was matched from the cab driver's mobile record. Finally, the next day, on September 12, 2025, the police, while tracing these 2, arrested them from Roshan Cake's relative Raju Verma's house. Harsh and Roshan were arrested. Also, Raju Verma also was taken into custody for the crime of sheltering them. Now the confession that these 2 give to the police, just listening to it will give you goosebumps, but also many questions related to the changing times of today will come to your mind. Renu Agrawal had surgery a while ago. That's why she needed a cook to cook. She mentioned it to Renu Agrawal, who lived just 1 floor above on the 4th floor. Because for the past 11 months, Roshan Singh was working in her house, with whose work they were not only happy, but they also trusted him a lot. Listening to this feedback, Renu Ji requested Renu Agrawal to arrange a good house, help and cook. From there Harsh entered, who was associated with the same agency from where Roshan was hired, because Roshan also knew him. And both were from the same city, Ranchi. Therefore, on August 31st, 2025, Renu Agrawal hired Harsh as a cook. Harsh had never worked in such a high-profile society before. In such a situation, this glamour was completely new to him, and, in the glitter of this glamour, one day his eyes fell on the locker, and expensive watch sets in the house's closet, which was open at that time by chance due to room cleaning. That's where an idea took root in his mind. And after cooking dinner on the evening of September 8th, he went to meet Roshan. He told Roshan about that locker, which led him to guess that in the house of such wealthy people, there must be a lot of jewelry and cash. Harsh planned to rob Renu Agrawal from here, and he also involved Roshan in this. Even though Harsh had only been working for a week, but his intentions had already gone bad. That's why he read the routine of all the family members of the house. He knew that Rakesh Agrawal leaves home with his son Shubham at around 10 a.m. in the morning for his shop in Fate Nagar, which is about 9 kilometers away, and then returns home directly around 7 o'clock in the evening. The day of September 10th also arrived when Renu Agrawal was busy with her household chores as usual, and the maid was cleaning. Harsh was preparing food in the kitchen. But today that demon of greed residing in his heart and mind was growing bigger with the passing time. According to the decided plan, as soon as the maid left the house, Harsh secretly called Roshan around 4 p.m. and called him to the flat. Renu was unaware of Roshan entering the house. The opportunity, these two cunning men lay in wait in Kifarak. Suddenly Renuji is attacked on the head with a cooker, making the first strike, causing her to fall unconscious. On the floor, both of them tie her hands and feet with rope, which they had already arranged, and then search the entire house for cash, jewelry, and other valuables. They begin, whatever valuables they could get their hands on, they were filling it into a travel bag. Then their eyes fell on a digital safety locker, which was difficult to open without a password. So somehow, bringing Renuji back to consciousness. These two asked her for the locker's password. Renu Agrawal could not believe that after all these two could do something like that. While she knew Roshan for many months, she kept begging both of them repeatedly to leave her. She kept begging for mercy too, but Roshan with a knife and scissors in hand, and Harsh started inflicting deep wounds on her body for not revealing the passcode. Renuji. Perhaps she was not telling the passcode also because she had seen that both of them, had blood in their eyes. Therefore she was also in this effort and hope that she might get a little time so that maybe someone would hear her voice at that time or come to help. Often a person standing on the threshold of death, only a miracle is hoped for. And Renuji also had the same hope in her mind. But the greed that resided in the minds of these criminals, this devil, had become impatient, and both were also afraid that someone might come upon hearing the noise. Therefore, they had no hesitation in committing an even bigger crime than theft. And they not only slit the throat of Renuji, who was pleading for mercy, but in the frustration of not being able to fulfill their desire, they repeatedly hit her head with a pressure cooker, crushing it badly. After killing Renu Agrawal, Harsh and Roshan removed all the jewelry from her body. Then both of them very calmly in the same flat. After bathing, he cleaned the blood off himself. He put on new clothes and applied perfume. He put all the stolen goods in a bag. He locked the door and came out of the apartment. And then reaching the basement via the elevator, he left on his scooty. Both were very clever. And that's why they deliberately left their scooty in Madhapur. Because from there are two routes to go to Hafizpet railway station. The first is via High-Tech City, and the second is via Gachibowli, so that if the police come looking for them, they wouldn't be able to know which route they took. And this would give them time to escape. From Hafizpet railway station, both caught a train to Secunderabad. Reaching Secunderabad, from there, their plan was to go to Ranchi by train. But, seeing the patrolling of RPF and policemen at Secunderabad railway station, they started to feel afraid of getting caught. Therefore, they dropped the idea of going by train, whereas they had already booked train tickets for Ranchi. These two left Secunderabad railway station and booked a cab directly to Ranchi from there, for which they had to make an advance payment of 15,000 rupees. But during the theft, they didn't even get that much cash. So Roshan called his cousin Raju and asked for help, after which Raju sent the money through UPI from his girlfriend's account. When the police arrested these three from Ranchi, Harsh was intoxicated at that time. The police found 6 to 7 tolas of gold from them. Gold rings, bangles, necklaces, a little cash, and a set of 16 to 17 expensive watches, along with a lot of artificial jewelry, which they mistook for real gold. The pressure cooker found at the crime scene. The fingerprints on the knives and scissors matched those of Harsh and Roshan, and the CCTV footage from the apartment building is also conclusive proof of their involvement. But even more surprising was that the background of both raises very big questions about the recruitment of such agencies and sheds light on a serious problem. 20-year-old Harsh Kumar. Actually, he was a drug addict, and some time ago, he was also admitted to a rehab center in Kolkata, whose documents are with the police. Whereas 22-year-old Roshan Singh, who had been working in Renu Agrawal's flat for so many months, there are 3 cases registered against him, 2 of theft, and 1 in 2023 of attempted murder in Ranchi. It is very shocking that the hiring agency, without proper profiling, without background checks, and without police verification, they send a person with a criminal history to work in a family. This is an institutional blunder, which can be prevented by simple police and document verification. But due to the pressure of demand and supply, agencies skip this important step in haste. Hiring done through an agency actually gives families a false sense of security, because they feel that if we have hired someone from an agency, then he will be trustworthy. Here, if we do a psychological analysis, then the exposure of valuables to a criminal mindset creates an opportunity for violence. This is a recurring issue, which arises due to loopholes in the hiring system. Here, the victim was a woman of the house, who is considered an easy target. In such a situation, the women present in our families, whose safety is most at risk. Therefore, it is necessary for all families that, if they are hiring someone, then do not rely only on agencies. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Share your friends. We will meet the next video.